Welcome to Way of Stoic, the place where love, trust, and relationship wisdom come together. In today's video, we're uncovering one powerful habit that happy couples avoid and how this simple insight can help build a stronger, healthier, and more lasting relationship. Stay with us until the end, because one small change in the way you communicate could transform your relationship completely. One of the biggest reasons some relationships thrive while others slowly fall apart is the way couples handle conflict. Many people enter a relationship believing that every disagreement has a winner and a loser. They feel the need to prove a point, defend their position, or show that they are right. At first, this may seem harmless, but over time it creates distance, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. Happy couples understand something that many struggling couples do not. They know that the moment a relationship becomes a competition, both people lose. When an argument starts, emotions often take control. Pride steps in and whispers that backing down means weakness. The desire to be right becomes stronger than the desire to understand. Instead of listening, people begin preparing their next response. Instead of seeking solutions, they search for evidence that supports their side. The conversation stops being about the actual issue and becomes a battle for victory. Happy couples recognize this trap and refuse to fall into it. They understand that their partner is not the enemy. The problem is the enemy. Whether the disagreement is about money, parenting, household responsibilities, or personal habits, successful couples approach the situation as a team facing a challenge together. They ask themselves how they can solve the issue rather than how they can defeat each other. This simple shift changes everything. It creates cooperation instead of conflict, and understanding instead of resentment. In healthy relationships, both partners feel safe expressing their thoughts because they know they will not be attacked or ridiculed. They can admit mistakes without fear of humiliation. They can share concerns without expecting a defensive reaction. This emotional safety becomes one of the strongest foundations of long-lasting love. Happy couples build this safety by focusing on understanding rather than winning. Another important reason happy couples avoid trying to win every argument is that they know being right does not always improve a relationship. Imagine proving beyond doubt that your partner made a mistake. Imagine winning the argument completely. If your partner walks away feeling hurt, ignored, or disrespected, what was truly gained? The argument may be over, but the emotional damage remains. Happy couples realize that preserving trust and respect is far more valuable than collecting victories. They also understand that every disagreement contains two different realities. Even if facts support one side, emotions still matter. A person can be factually correct while being emotionally insensitive. Happy couples make room for both truth and feelings. They listen carefully, not just to the words being spoken, but to the emotions underneath them. This helps them discover what their partner truly needs. One common habit among happy couples is pausing before reacting. Instead of immediately defending themselves, they ask questions. They seek clarity. They try to understand where their partner is coming from. This approach reduces misunderstandings and prevents minor disagreements from escalating into major conflicts. Often, people argue not because they disagree completely, but because they feel unheard. Compromise also plays a major role. Happy couples know that compromise is not surrender. It is a sign of maturity and commitment. They are willing to meet each other halfway because they value the relationship more than their own pride. They understand that flexibility strengthens connection, while stubbornness weakens it. Over the years, these small choices create a powerful effect. Every time a couple chooses understanding over victory, they strengthen trust. Every time they listen instead of attack, they deepen emotional intimacy. Every time they focus on the problem together, they reinforce the idea that they are partners, not opponents. The happiest couples are not those who never argue. They are the ones who refuse to turn disagreements into competitions. They know that love grows when two people stand on the same side, facing challenges together. They understand that a relationship is not about proving who is right. It is about protecting the bond that makes both people stronger. That is why happy couples never try to win every argument. They choose something far more valuable. They choose each other. One of the quiet habits that slowly damages relationships is keeping score. It often begins in small ways that seem harmless. A partner remembers how many times they cleaned the house, how often they initiated conversations, or how many sacrifices they made compared to the other person. Over time, these mental notes turn into an invisible scoreboard. Every act of kindness becomes a point earned, and every mistake becomes a point lost. While this may seem like a way to ensure fairness, happy couples understand that relationships are not meant to be measured like a competition. That is why they never keep score of mistakes. In many struggling relationships, old arguments never truly disappear. They are stored away and brought back whenever a new disagreement arises. A conversation that begins about one issue suddenly turns into a list of everything that has gone wrong over the past months or even years. One partner says something hurtful, and the other responds by bringing up a mistake from the past. Instead of solving the current problem, both people become trapped in a cycle of blame and resentment. Happy couples recognize that constantly revisiting old mistakes prevents healing. They understand that forgiveness is not simply saying the words, "I forgive you." Real forgiveness means making a conscious decision not to use the past as a weapon in future conflicts. When a mistake has been acknowledged, discussed, and resolved, they allow it to stay in the past. They do not keep it hidden in an emotional archive, waiting for the next argument. This does not mean happy couples ignore serious issues or pretend problems never happened. They address concerns honestly and directly. They have difficult conversations when necessary. The difference is that once an issue has been resolved, they focus on growth rather than punishment. They believe that people can learn, improve, and become better partners over time. Constantly reminding someone of their failures only keeps them trapped in those failures. Keeping score also creates a dangerous mindset where every act of love becomes transactional. A partner may begin thinking, "I did this for you, so now you owe me something in return." Acts of kindness lose their genuine meaning because they are performed with expectations attached. Happy couples understand that love thrives when generosity is given freely, rather than treated as a debt that must be repaid. Another problem with keeping score is that it causes people to overlook the positive things their partner does. When someone becomes focused on counting mistakes, they naturally pay less attention to acts of care, support, and affection. The relationship begins to feel unbalanced, even when both partners are contributing in meaningful ways. Negative memories become louder than positive experiences. Happy couples intentionally resist this tendency. They choose gratitude over accounting. They look for reasons to appreciate each other, rather than evidence to support complaints. They also realize that no relationship can ever be perfectly equal every single day. There will be times when one partner gives more because the other is struggling. During periods of stress, illness, career challenges, or emotional hardship, the balance may temporarily shift. Healthy couples accept this reality because they see themselves as a team. When one person is weak, the other steps up without keeping a record of every sacrifice. They trust that over the long run, both partners will continue supporting each other. Trust plays a major role in this mindset. Happy couples trust that their efforts are seen and valued, even if they are not immediately recognized. They do not feel the need to constantly remind their partner of everything they have done. Their confidence in the relationship allows them to give without expecting a perfect return. Perhaps most importantly, happy couples understand that love cannot grow in an environment filled with constant judgment. Every person makes mistakes. Every person falls short at times. A relationship becomes stronger when both partners feel accepted despite their imperfections. When forgiveness is present, people feel safe enough to learn from mistakes rather than defend themselves against endless criticism. Over time, refusing to keep score creates emotional freedom. Partners stop viewing each other through the lens of past failures and begin focusing on who they are becoming together. Resentment fades, appreciation grows. The relationship becomes less about balancing accounts and more about building a shared future. That is why happy couples never keep score of mistakes. They know that a strong relationship is not built by counting failures. It is built by practicing forgiveness, showing grace, and choosing love over resentment again and again. Instead of asking who owes what, they focus on how they can continue growing together, and that choice makes all the difference. One of the most powerful habits that separates happy couples from unhappy ones is their ability to acknowledge each other's feelings. They understand that emotions are not obstacles to a relationship. They are signals that reveal what matters most to a person. That is why happy couples never ignore their partner's feelings, even when they disagree with what their partner is saying. They make an effort to understand what their partner is feeling. This simple habit creates trust, emotional safety, and a deeper connection that can last for years. Long relationship problems do not begin because two people disagree. They begin because one person feels unheard. A partner may express sadness, frustration, disappointment, or insecurity, only to receive a dismissive response. Sometimes the dismissal is obvious. Other times it happens in subtle ways. A person may say, "You're overreacting, it's not a big deal," or "You shouldn't feel that way." While these responses may not be intended to cause harm, they often leave the other person feeling misunderstood and alone. Happy couples know that feelings do not need permission to exist. Whether an emotion seems logical or not, it is still real to the person experiencing it. Instead of judging emotions, they seek to understand them. They listen carefully and try to see the situation from their partner's perspective. This does not mean they automatically agree with everything their partner says. It simply means they respect the emotional experience behind the words. When someone feels understood, something remarkable happens. Their defenses begin to lower. Their anger softens. Their willingness to communicate increases. Most people do not need their partner to solve every problem immediately. Often, they simply want to know that their emotions matter. Happy couples understand this and make emotional validation a regular part of their relationship. Listening plays a crucial role in this process. Many people listen only long enough to prepare a response. They focus on defending themselves or proving a point, rather than truly hearing what their partner is saying. Happy couples take a different approach. They listen with curiosity. They ask questions. They seek clarification. They want to understand not only the words, but also the emotions hidden beneath them. Sometimes a partner's complaint is not really about the issue being discussed. A disagreement about spending time together may actually be about feeling neglected. An argument about household chores may be connected to feeling unappreciated. Happy couples look beyond the surface and try to understand the deeper emotional need. This helps them address the real issue, rather than getting stuck in endless arguments about details. Another reason happy couples never ignore feelings is that emotional neglect can slowly create distance. When a person repeatedly feels dismissed, they may stop sharing their thoughts altogether. They begin keeping emotions to themselves because they no longer believe their partner cares or understands. Over time, this emotional withdrawal can damage even a long-term relationship. Communication becomes weaker, intimacy decreases, and resentment quietly grows. Happy couples actively prevent this by creating an environment where both partners feel comfortable expressing themselves. They encourage openness and honesty. They make it clear that difficult emotions are welcome and can be discussed without fear of judgment. This emotional safety becomes one of the strongest foundations of their relationship. Empathy also plays a major role. Happy couples make an effort to imagine what their partner is experiencing. They recognize that every person carries unique experiences, fears, hopes, and insecurities. What seems small to one person may feel very significant to another. By showing empathy, they communicate a powerful message. Your feelings matter to me. This habit becomes especially important during difficult times. Life brings stress, disappointment, loss, and uncertainty. During these moments, people often need emotional support more than practical solutions. Happy couples know when to offer advice and when to simply be present. Sometimes the greatest gift they can provide is a listening ear and a compassionate heart. Over the years, consistently acknowledging each other's feelings strengthens trust in profound ways. Each conversation becomes an opportunity to deepen connection rather than create division. Partners learn that they can rely on each other not only during happy moments, but also during emotional struggles. This reliability creates a bond that becomes stronger with time. That is why happy couples never ignore their partner's feelings. They understand that emotions are not weaknesses to be dismissed, but important parts of being human. By listening with empathy, showing understanding, and making each other feel valued, they create a relationship where both people feel seen, heard, and deeply appreciated. In the end, this emotional connection becomes one of the greatest sources of happiness and stability in their lives. One of the most common reasons relationships slowly lose their warmth and connection is not because of one major betrayal or dramatic conflict. More often it happens because small frustrations are left unspoken for too long. Tiny disappointments, unmet expectations, and unresolved feelings begin to accumulate day after day. At first, they seem insignificant. A partner forgets something important, communicates properly, or behaves in a way that causes irritation. Instead of discussing the issue openly, the other person stays silent and convinces themselves that it is not worth mentioning. Unfortunately, these small moments rarely disappear on their own. They quietly turn into resentment. That is why happy couples never let resentment build in silence. Resentment is dangerous because it grows gradually. It does not arrive all at once. It develops through repeated experiences that make someone feel ignored, unappreciated, misunderstood, or taken for granted. When these feelings remain unaddressed, they begin to change the way a person views their partner. Actions that once seemed harmless start feeling offensive. Conversations become shorter. Patience becomes harder to maintain. The emotional distance between two people slowly increases. Happy couples understand this risk and choose a different approach. They do not wait until frustration becomes unbearable before speaking up. Instead, they communicate concerns early and respectfully. They know that discussing a small issue today is far easier than dealing with a large emotional wound months later. Open communication allows problems to be addressed while they are still manageable. Many people avoid difficult conversations because they fear conflict. They worry that bringing up a concern will create tension or lead to an argument. Happy couples recognize that avoiding conversations does not eliminate problems. It simply postpones them. In fact, silence often creates greater damage because the issue remains unresolved while negative emotions continue to grow. By addressing concerns honestly, they give themselves an opportunity to solve problems before resentment takes root. Another reason resentment becomes harmful is that it often leads to assumptions. When communication disappears, people begin creating stories in their minds about why their partner behaves a certain way. A forgotten promise may be interpreted as a lack of care. A delayed response may be viewed as disrespect. A misunderstanding may be mistaken for intentional behavior. These assumptions are rarely accurate, but without communication, they can feel completely true. Happy couples avoid this trap by asking questions rather than making conclusions. Respectful communication is one of the key habits that protects relationships from resentment. Happy couples do not attack each other when discussing problems. They focus on explaining how they feel rather than assigning blame. Instead of saying, "You never care about me," they might say, "I felt hurt when this happened." This difference may seem small, but it changes the entire tone of the conversation. One approach invites defensiveness, while the other encourages understanding. They also understand the importance of timing. Difficult discussions are more productive when both partners are calm and willing to listen. Happy couples avoid bringing up sensitive issues in the middle of heated arguments whenever possible. They choose moments when meaningful conversation can actually occur. This increases the chances of finding solutions rather than creating more conflict. Listening is equally important. Communication is not just about expressing concerns. It is also about hearing the other person's perspective. Happy couples recognize that every situation has more than one side. They listen carefully, even when they disagree. This willingness to understand creates trust and prevents misunderstandings from escalating. One of the most beautiful qualities of happy couples is their commitment to solving problems together. They do not view concerns as personal attacks. Instead, they see them as opportunities to strengthen the relationship. When an issue arises, they focus on finding solutions rather than assigning blame. This teamwork mindset prevents resentment from becoming a permanent part of the relationship. Over time, this habit creates a powerful emotional environment. Both partners feel comfortable expressing concerns because they know they will be heard. They do not have to suppress emotions or pretend everything is fine. Problems are addressed openly, which allows trust and intimacy to grow. Instead of carrying emotional burdens alone, they face challenges together. The opposite of resentment is not perfection. No relationship is free from disappointment, mistakes, or misunderstandings. The difference is how those moments are handled. Happy couples understand that problems are inevitable, but resentment is not. By communicating honestly, listening with empathy, and addressing concerns before they become emotional wounds, they protect the health of their relationship. That is why happy couples never let resentment build in silence. They know that unspoken frustrations can quietly destroy even strong relationships. Rather than allowing negative feelings to grow in the shadows, they bring them into the light through honest conversation. In doing so, they create a relationship built on trust, understanding, and lasting emotional connection. Thank you for watching Lauren Couple Circle. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who values healthy relationships. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what relationship lesson has made the biggest difference in your life. Until next time, take care of your relationship, appreciate your partner, and keep building a love that grows stronger every day.